Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jury Rig Garage. I'm Davis, and this is Tristan here. Today we're going to continue on pulling the motor and swapping a 5.3 on Tristan's Tahoe.
Hell yeah, we're really close to pulling the engine, so we only have a few things left to do that we're working on right now. Got onto the car and there was a spider's nest already, so had to burn them out with the torch because I ain't messing with that.
Yeah, this car was originally with nature, and now we're trying to pull it
now
from
it's
nature.
back, yeah. I got under the car, locked eyes with that spider. Okay, not messing around with you, buddy. So yeah, we got the crank bolt in. I got the cover off so we can get those converter bolts out. And then we have a few sensors we need to get out. What else we got? Oh yeah, the bell housing bolts. We just had to remove this plate. I mean, I'm sure it's just a heat shield.
Yeah, it's a heat shield for the downpipe. Under the car, you'll see there's 3 nuts. There's like 3 studs that bolt up right here. Sorry about the sun glare. Gonna be kind of impossible to avoid, but there's stud there, and there's one at the top. But that just gives us access to the bell housing bolt up there. Otherwise, there's like no room to get a wrench on it.
Yeah, it's like half an inch of clearance between it, so like even a socket's really hard to get on there. So don't waste your time, just take the plate off. And then you have the other bell housing bolts all at the side. This side's really easy, and since we cut the exhaust, we have super easy access to it. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to pull the motor today. Yeah.
We're just at the very last part of it. Yeah, find some wood.
Don't jinx us, Davis.
There's no way we're not swapping the whole thing today. We'll just need to clear space to get the engine lift out. Obviously, we've, expertly stacked all the parts in front of it, so it'll make it super easy to get out. It is a hot day out today.
It's gonna be 93 out.
Yeah.
Which is, for us, is very hot.
And right now it's already like 80.
Well, I guess you guys will see us when we make a little bit more progress.
All right, guys, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but as you can tell, transmission and engine forward. To get to the converter bolts, what you gotta do is you gotta remove the starter and inspection plate, and as you can see, we'll have easy access to the flex plate and the bolts. I had to take off the cover, which on this, it hooks around the starter, so I had to take it off entirely. I've seen some designs where it doesn't do this, and you're just able to do the 110 mil and pull it out, but we're gonna work on that. Tristan's working on the bell housing bolts. I'm probably gonna go on the top side of the engine so I can turn over the motor so you can get to these. We're making progress, but it's really hot out here, guys. I don't know how long I'll make it. All right, guys, we're back. Man, I don't know what it is. Those torque converter bolts are kicking my ass. I've been under there for like 20-30 minutes, and I've only been able to get the 2 out, probably 30 minutes.
On them.
Well, no, there's definitely Loctite. When it was coming out, it was blasting like the powdery residue that would go on them. As you can see, there's a bunch of like debris everywhere. It's so windy. It's like the first super windy day of the season. It's really hot out. All these trees are releasing pollen and little seed pods, and man, it's getting everywhere. I think the motor's been out before on this thing, and whoever did it did a bunch of thread locker on it.
And cranked it.
So we got one more. Tristan has to sit up here, turn the crank, hold it while I try breaking it loose. And the only way I could break them loose is with this combination. Since our ratcheting wrench isn't long enough, I have to get this 15 mil ratcheting wrench on it. And then I have to get, it's kind of hard to do one-handed, I have to get this 21 mil, loop it for extra leverage, and that's long enough.
It's so stupid. And to have to take the starter off to get to that angle of it also sucks. The sway bar is in the way, and we already tried removing that. It ain't coming off.
Yep.
Not without breaking something. I liked it to where in my Bonneville, there's just that gap where you know, easy. You just
even my Mustang, you can see right over here, this is like a Ford mod motor. You have this plastic retainer right here, and it gives you perfect access to the flex plate, torque converter bolts, just right there, super easily.
That is nice.
Like they centered the bolt right in the center of that, so you can get an impact on it if you want.
That, because like the starter only interfaces with the edge of the flex plate, and so it's so close to the engine that you can't get to it unless it's in a very particular spot, unless you have a wrench. Because we were trying to do it with a socket at first, and it would have worked had we had like a different ratcheting wrench.
Yeah.
Because if it were longer, it would have been fine, but it wasn't longer.
Yep. Well, we have one more flex plate bolt.
Yep.
And then once we got that, we'll just go ahead and start taking out the motor mount, well, I guess bell housing bolts, and then the motor mounts will be the very last thing. We'll get the engine hoist hooked up on this. I think we should put it on the ground, like put the wheels back on just so we have the extra height, and then we'll just work on up and out, getting the motor out.
Yeah, the only problem is the oil pressure sensor and whatever sensor that other thing is.
We need to Google that.
Yeah, we do need to Google that.
So whatever that is, we don't see anywhere it disconnects. Also, it's got like a really big nut on it or something, big bulkhead thing. So we don't know what that is. I don't know if you just wiggle it off or whatever, or you're supposed to unbolt it, but we're gonna go ahead and Google what exactly it is. We also kind of like traced where it goes. It connects this wire loom. It's not like you can disconnect it on the opposite side of the wire loom. So yep, well, that's where we're at there, but easy access to these bell housing bolts. The top one we just have to be on top of the motor to get to, and this will be completely separated. All right, guys, we got this off. We figured out what it was. I had remembered that Tristan had a block heater on it, so this is actually just part of the block heater system. Our problem was we didn't see it, but there are 2 tabs on it, so you can see there's one there and one there. We only saw this one, so it made it really hard to get off. Just know there's 2 tabs that kind of lock it in, so just pull those back with a screwdriver and they'll come off just easily. So if your Tahoe didn't come with a block heater, you won't even have to deal with this. Lastly, well, I can't reach over there, but we have the oil level sender unit. After that, we're completely done with the electronics. We just have the remaining torque converter bolt and then the bell housing bolts. All right, guys, getting the last bell housing bolt out. It's a real struggle, but it's way easier getting the last ones from the top rather than below. Also, we have all this room in here, no radiator, no accessories, no intake manifold. So good thing about these bell housing bolts is once they're broken loose, they come up by hand. So that's the last one. Nice. So now, guys, all we have is that last torque converter bolt and then the 4 bolts for the motor mounts, and this thing can come up and out. We got the oil sender unit out, the block heater, and I did a once over. I didn't see any other electronics. I'm sure we might find something that, you know, snag us up. We're at the last little bit here. All right, guys, we're back. We are just about ready to start pulling the motor out of here. So we got the bell housing bolts out, the torque converter bolts out. Now all we have remaining are the motor mount bolts. So we already got the one on the back there on either side, so there's 2 on either side when you get at. We don't have such an optimal amount of space with the engine hoist here. It's not very long. I would say when we go to put the motor back in, we definitely need to take out the front of the car just so we can get the couple more inches forward. I don't even know how you're supposed to drop a motor in when the chain's at an angle like that, unless we were able to like seriously push it ourselves or we had a longer arm. But getting out, I don't think will be much of a problem. We're just going to
as long as it doesn't swing forward and wreck the condenser.
Yeah, you know, this might be the last time you see this as pristine as it is. We're gonna go ahead and start taking the bolts off and start hoisting carefully. And we chalk this engine hoist as best as we know how to. Just put some bolts through the casters. We still don't have locking casters on this thing.
Yeah, 3 years in.
So anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start attempting to pull this.
All right, we got the second bolt out. Nope, it's fine. No,
where is it? Oh,
it's
there we
right
go.
there.
I'm struggling, guys. I'm experiencing heat exhaustion.
Me too. Nice. Cool, we got that one out.
This was the tough side.
On to the next side, Davis.
Yep. See, why were the back ones so hard?
Nice.
All right.
She's free, I think. We don't know that for sure.
Yeah, it's resting on the dowels of it, so I think we need to start lifting it and then start kind of like pulling forward.
All right, Davis, protect the condenser.
Me?
Yeah, protect it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's your responsibility now. All right, Davis, this is on you. You got this.
I'm watching.
You got this. No, don't do that. That's plastic. Don't. I mean, we're getting. Ooh, that's not so good. I think we're still connected.
Well, we got all the bell housing bolts. We got all the motor mount bolts. Exhaust is disconnected.
We just had to jack harder.
Yeah, we found out our problem is we weren't jacking hard enough. So we started pulling, and as you can see, it lifted up off there. So.
All right. Well, keep on. Here, keep on jacking, boy.
So it's up over.
It's still stuck on something. I don't think that the dowel has gotten out of this side yet.
Because this side's definitely good. All right, guys, we're back, and we did it. All it took was some heat basically, I'll show you on the motor. Yes, sweat and tears and blood and all that, you know. But the motor has dowels on either side that hold the transmission together, and just over the years, it must have like corroded and it just got frozen in there. And we tried prying and it didn't work, but we read online, just put a bunch of heat into it. So heated it up with a propane torch, and we got one side off. The other side is actually still holding it on. So
I want progress, god dang it.
All right, guys, we're back. Man, that was really tough. I think we both got heat stroke from that. Like 2 years ago when we did Vince's 408 stroker, we were in a huge heat wave, and some days it was like 116 degrees outside. Surprisingly, I don't feel as bad as I did then than I do now. I feel like total crap after that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Dear God.
So a couple things about pulling the motor out. The dowels were definitely the issue because the passenger side dowel remains in the transmission. It did not want to leave with the motor. So that's pretty crazy.
Heating it up. Heat your dowels up.
Yep, and then
that's the only way we even got it to budge.
Anyways, the exhaust manifolds, this side had 2 gaskets for some reason. They were kind of like the OEM style. The other side had replacement style gaskets. And the other side, the bolts were loose. This one has a broken off stud, so definitely...
This engine had some problems.
It's been out before. Like, somebody took it out or swapped it at some point. We're finding stuff like the green mark.
And then also there's 2 dots, a green and like an orange one. Like, that's for sure came from a junkyard.
Yeah, but now it's getting a new junkyard of it.
So I can't even believe that, like, this didn't... Like, the original motor didn't even last.
Yeah, right.
And then this one, who knows how many miles this one has, and then it didn't last.
Yep, that lifter stuff.
LSs were supposed to be reliable, guys.
Well, DOD was to blame for this one. Probably the last one, too.
If you're a smart person, you would have put this back together without the goddamn DOD.
Yep.
And then this motor would have lasted a lot longer.
Yep.
Because there would have been no reason to take it out had that... Well, also... okay, blown head gasket, too. That's a whole nother issue.
Yep. Now with the engine out, we have so much room in the engine bay to clean up, because there's, years of grime everywhere in there. We'll be able to replace the transmission lines really easily. And this is, again, new exhaust, new engine mounts, new motor, everything. Anyways, guys, I'm winded. This sounds like rambling to me, so yeah.
At least we got it out.
Yep, but that's going to do it. If you want to support us, join us as a channel member down below. You get early access to the new videos, so if you're watching this now, you can watch the new video right now. We're going to be just taking some of the last things off this, I think the flex plate, the oil sender, all that, block heater, moving it over to this motor. Then we're going to be putting this motor in, slowly assembling all the accessories, this whole mass of parts that we have here back on, replace the transmission cooler lines, whole exhaust, hopefully get it driving soon. I'm expecting timeline-wise, probably
I'm hoping by the end of
June. I'm thinking June, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think depending on what kind of progress we can make putting it in, I think by the end of the month it might run.
That's true.
That gives us 2 more weekends, and the one after next is an extended weekend.
That's true. Yes. So that's a good timeline. So guys, we're gonna go and get this going. You're gonna hear this truck cam. You probably won't hear it at all, actually.
Yeah, probably won't.
Plus the downpipes Tristan bought have cats on them.
Yeah, it's identical. Well, it's similar to what came on the car. It's in pieces that you clamp in. So probably be the same, and then everything else is the same. Manifolds are just new. So it'll probably sound exactly the same, but you've never heard it, guys.
Yep. But it'll feel better, I'm sure.
Yeah, not misfire.
Yeah, you'll see some oil pressure maybe.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Maybe
the down might
maybe
be
not see all the smoke blooming out of the exhaust.
You're losing that espionage touch. You're no longer smoke screening everyone behind you.
That's true. Maybe we'll have to fix that.
Yep. So guys, that's going to do it. Again, if you want to support us, join us as a member, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.